appreciate you joining us here at BlockShow Asia in Singapore. No, it's really. Can you tell me a little bit about ABCC quickly?
So ABCC is a crypto-to-crypto exchange. Like all crypto-to-crypto exchanges, the difference,
competitive difference
for us is that we were founded by a team of experienced entrepreneurs and investors. So I know that a lot of the previous exchanges have been started by people where the exchange have been their first ventures. But a lot of our team and our co-founders have had significant tech experience.
Right.
So for example, me myself, I have founded and led a company to IPO in the tech industry in China. A lot of our co-founders were former senior staff of Baidu and Alibaba.
Okay.
Most of our software engineers have also worked in senior positions in Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent.
Okay.
So I think at the end of the day, being a seasoned entrepreneur, I've had a few exits myself. There's nothing special about ideas. Ideas are a dime a dozen.
Execution.
It's always execution. It's the team that's the most important.
That's right.
So
let me ask you, how are you protecting the value of your token at ABCC?
Well, I think if you're talking about protecting, the most sustainable way to protect the value of a token or a share is to have a sustainable and good business.
Okay.
Anything else is manipulation, and we're not into manipulation.
Absolutely, absolutely. In the outlook for 2019, the cryptocurrency market, what's your outlook on that?
I think there has to be new innovations of products on the crypto market. I am rather optimistic about the STO market. Okay. Because I think that a lot of the utility tokens that were issued in 2017 were BS. They were not based on any fundamentals.
Tell the truth, we see a lot of,
I think 99% of them dropped to zero.
Exactly. Yep.
So I think because me and my team have been in investments and finance and business for a long time, any business has to have some fundamentals behind it.
Right.
It cannot be based on no fundamentals.
So the driver of the crypto volatility right now is just truly no executionable plan.
I mean, a lot of the so-called utility tokens have got no utility. They're not being used. So even Bitcoin.
Right.
Bitcoin was meant to be a store of value. You can't have a store of value that is so volatile. It cannot be the next gold.
Right.
Because of its volatility.
Right.
And the visionaries that have envisaged Bitcoin to be an alternate form of payment, it's not going to happen.
Why do you think it's not going to happen?
Because no government is going to allow an alternative currency to be used in their systems. And all governments have got courts and police. If you want to go against the judicial and legal systems of a country, sure, but you're not going to win.
Right. So you think that the banks, do you think the lobbyists, the banks, down to the governments
will not allow it.
Right, and do you think that that's a trickle down from the banks to the lobbyists to the government, based on what we've seen in the past?
Because currency is a fundamental pillar of governance in every country. The sovereign currency of a country is one of the fundamental ways of managing an economy.
Right.
And I was on the panel just now about China, and a lot of people outside of China don't understand that one of the main driver of the ban on cryptocurrencies in China is not ideological. Right. It's because the RMB is a non-convertible currency. If you can change RMB into Bitcoin, you can change Bitcoin to euros or USD. So it makes a mockery of the non-convertible policy of the RMB.
Got it.
And the non-convertible principle of the RMB, the policy of non-convertibility of the RMB, is a fundamental financial tenet in China to prevent the outflow of capital. Every Chinese person is only allowed to change $50,000 US per year in China. right?
Right.
But if you allow people to change it into any of these Bitcoins on any of these exchanges, they can change it into any of the fiat currencies.
Right. Right.
And then capital will flow out of China.
And how do you feel, and personally, how do you feel about that in the way that it's affecting the growth, the adoption of tokenized assets and blockchain and crypto?
We are in just like the internet in the 90s. I think you're probably too young to remember.
Graduated high school in 91.
So during the dot-com, in the early stages of the dot-com, you had a mass explosion, right? So what we're going to have to go through for 2 or 3 more waves is that the wheat has to be separated from the chaff, right? So we have just seen the first wave, just like the internet went through the first wave.
Right.
There's going to be a second wave.
Are we in the first wave right? Do you think we hit this first wave right now?
I think we have just ended the first wave.
Good.
So we're going to go through the second wave. So the second wave, there's going to be another uptick where you will have more experienced entrepreneurs and investors coming into the industry to give it some sort of stability. But that will not last because it's only in the third wave where 90%, maybe even more of these startups are going to fail.
Right.
And then you're going to have the Googles, the Amazons, the eBays.
Right. The guys that are working on blockchain protocols in the background. These are the guys who are going to last. Okay.
And then it's also because technology isn't, the technology behind blockchain isn't mature yet. So in the mid-90s, for example, there was a startup called Boo.com. Boo.com was the first to innovate online shopping. But they innovated online shopping during an era of dot-com modems.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
But Amazon and eBay innovated it just on the cusp of broadband. It's all about timing.
Exactly.
So the idea might be right, but at the moment, blockchain is slow.
I've come across that myself. So and personally, professionally, so I completely understand.
But the ideas might work in 3 years, in 5 years, when things become faster. I think there are real-life applications of blockchain, not only cryptos. I think there's a huge array of application for blockchain. There's a huge array of application for tokenization. It doesn't have to be utility tokens. I think tokenization is if it's a security, it allows a disruption of startup financing because it's a non-dilutive form of early financing. When entrepreneurs first start up, the main challenge they have is that the valuation of the company is very low. So they give up a lot of the equity for very little money.
Absolutely.
So you will find that a lot of these entrepreneurs end up losing control of their company when it's big. So for example, Uber. The founder of Uber was chucked off his company. Steve Jobs was chucked off his company because they had to raise money at a low valuation in the early days. But tokenization, the security tokens, allow entrepreneurs to raise money without dilution. It's a non-dilutive form of investment. The second challenge is on the investor side. So for investors such as me, early stage investment is non-liquid. Pre-A, A, B, C, until there's an IPO, our shares are not liquid. But if it's tokenized and there's a secondary market for the trading of the token, early stage investment becomes liquid.
Exactly.
So it opens up a whole new universe for startup and early stage investment.
Exactly, a very symbiotic relationship between the two.
So that is the future of cryptocurrencies, of tokenization.
That's interesting.
Not these people who want to usurp the world order.
This model I like. I like that model a lot more, and we should talk a little bit more about that as well.
So the evangelists, just like the internet evangelists in the 90s, they think they're going to change the world. They're not going to change the world. Technology will change the way we live on the margins, but it's not going to change human behavior. It's not going to change society.
Right. We have to do that, quite frankly.
All
right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate the time.
Thank you very much.